Hey there, and welcome to YAS, a stripper podcast. On this podcast, we'll discuss how classifying each other as people and workers is dangerous to society and marginalized groups of people. We'll also talk about the climate in and outside of the strip clubs and all of the amazing things that strippers do. And of course, we'll talk about all of the things in between. I'm your queen, A.M. Davies, and this is YAS, a stripper podcast.
Get up close and personal to your face. I'm surprised you don't have rainbow eyeshadow on right now.
I know. This pandemic has proved that I am the laziest person ever. And I already kind of knew that, but if I'm not going anywhere, I'm like, I have makeup.
Yeah, but I was looking at your Instagram account and you just do so many like selfie shoots and shit, which is great. But like that means you're putting on all that makeup at home just to shoot quarantine selfies?
Yeah, or sometimes I just put on I'll do like little basics and I'm like, okay, just to like take a photo. But the other day I was like, you know what? You have nothing else to do right now. Suck it up. Go put some makeup on and take some goddamn pictures for all your crap and your OnlyFans and your Instagram and your, just do it.
Yeah.
And and then take a few different things so that you don't have to do anything else for the rest of the week.
Totally. Yeah. So how often do you do that? Do you prep your content?
I try to post daily or every other day. So it's super hit and miss. Like sometimes I'll just be like, I don't really have anything to post. So I guess I just need to go post something. So again, suck it up and put some makeup on. Or I'm just like too lazy and I'm like, well, I'm not super broken out today. I'll just do it without makeup. But
so the more money you need, the more balls to the wall you go, basically.
Yeah, the more I post. When I'm like, I'm not really making as much money this week, I'm gonna post more.
So how many followers do you have now on Instagram?
On Instagram, 72,000.
72,000. Yeah. And that becomes a serious commitment once you start hitting those types of numbers, right?
Yeah, because people, it's like, it ends up being this, it's like just an all-day job.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, because you're just like, even if you don't mean to, you get notifications and we all check our phone all day throughout the day. So then I end up being on there and it's not just like shooting the shit as much anymore as it's like monetizing. I have to post for this brand or whatever.
Yeah, so you're posting. Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to bring you on the podcast and talk to you is because we used to work together, so I categorize you as a stripper, and I know that you don't necessarily, so we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
And also because you went viral, and I want to talk about that and what that was like for you and how and why you went viral, because it's such a cute story. And then what other people can learn from what you learned from going viral on Instagram as a sexually expressed woman and what that was like. Yeah, so that's what I really want to get into. So your video of you eating pizza went viral, and then your Instagram account blew up, right?
Yeah.
Can you just walk us through that story?
It was Cricket's birthday, and a customer had ordered pizza for her, essentially, but Cricket, she's like, everyone, eat pizza. Yeah. So I had just eaten a slice and realized I was next, and I was like, I just want like we've all eaten on stage, but I just was like, I just want to go up there and just I don't want to do anything. I'm not gonna dance, I'm not gonna twerk, I'm just gonna sit there. I'm eating this pizza, and I hope people don't boo at me. Yeah. And so I asked one of our other coworkers to film it, and just was like, see what happens, and I just thought it was like a silly thing, and I posted it the next day.
Yeah.
And it just overnight it had 1 million views, and I kind of had a mini panic attack because I was like, oh no, society doesn't like us, so how is this gonna go over? Are people just gonna be really, really mean to me? And I've always been I don't give a fuck kind of person, but that is a lot very quickly, and all of a sudden I was just like, oh no, what is everyone gonna think? Like, am I gonna get attacked by the whole world right now? So it was a really weird situation.
Did you get trolled on?
Oh yeah. So like, I mean, it was mostly positive, but yeah, there were a lot of comments, and like, again, it was like the first time anything had happened to me like that. So every time like a huge page would post it, I would just sit and read the comments all day and just like, someone says something mean and I'd like say something back, and I'm slowly learning that like I can't always just sit and like police the comments, because there are always going to be douchebags and people don't like sex workers. So
yeah, and it's almost futile, right? It's like
you're not changing their mind.
No, exactly not. And not in that medium anyway. Not through like banter in a comment section. And it's just that can be so emotionally draining.
Yeah.
To constantly like educate people who are just terrified of you.
Yeah. There's so many people like, oh, like she clearly doesn't have a dad. And I'm like, my dad's my best friend. And I'm like, always like, my dad's my best friend. Like, he thought this video was hilarious. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like, oh, way to make your parents proud. I'm like, oh, actually, they're like,
they are. Yeah, like my dad was like hunting down every article he could find when I went viral. He thought it was so funny and cool.
That's awesome.
That I had like blew up, and then
way to go, Dad.
Yeah, he's the best.
That's very, very cool. Now, here's the thing though, you're a pizza slut.
I'm a pizza slut.
Yeah, like same days. I'm a huge pizza slut. But did you get like more dedicated to the pizza after that video went viral?
Well, I did get a pizza tattoo, but like the funny thing is like, I mean, there were even like a handful of girls, a couple that we even worked with, that were like, you weren't the first to do that. And they were like mad about it. And I was like, well, I never said I was the first to do it. And I didn't mean for it to go viral. Like, it was an accident. Right. But like, I know one girl was like, oh, I ate pizza like 2 years ago. And I was like, well, I ate pizza 6 years ago at Crazy Girls, but I didn't film it. But like, I still don't think I did it first. Like, nobody did it first.
Right. Everyone, it's not like you were like, hey, you guys, I'm the first person ever.
Like, I have invented eating food on stage.
This is my invention. And I also planned this viral video. I planned this viralness. So yeah, I'm the first.
Yeah. So it was more frustrating when like I knew that a couple coworkers and other dancers were salty about it, because I was like, aren't we supposed to be like helping each other? Like, this is only like getting promotion for the club, so more people are going to come in. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Right. It's good for everybody at the end of the day. But it was mostly, I mean, in all honesty, it was mostly good for you. You benefited the most from it, which is fine. It was your content, but that's the reality. Did you find that people came into the club that were like, oh my God, I came here because I saw your viral video? Yeah,
a handful of people have come in, and like one day I was sitting at the bar and there were these two dudes sitting, like, I was kind of sitting at the kind of like corner of it. Yeah. And there were these two dudes talking, and they were like talking about the pizza stripper. Like, one time this girl ate pizza here, and I was like, they have no idea it was me. And so I'm like sitting there like watching them like talk about it, and then they looked over and I was staring at them, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? And they were like, this girl one time. I was like, that was me. And they were like, oh. But it's funny because like nobody can, like, the lighting, it's like nobody can really even tell.
I can see that. Yeah, because it's like red, so and kind of blurry, and then it wasn't like close up on your face, but your hair, for those of you who aren't familiar with Lilly and aren't watching the YouTube video, Lily's hair is like blue, purple, green, rainbow, like burgundy. There's no green in it right now, but it's just like a tiny bit. It's just so like unique and stand out,
And you can never see it at work.
Yeah,
it bums me out because I'm trying to be so rainbow, and I'll do like this rainbow makeup, and my hair is all rainbow, and no one can see it.
Were those red lights really? So at Jumbo's Clown Room, where we used to work, there's just all red lights, and everything looks red or beige. Like anything with color on it, just looks like
flat.
reddish beige. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that makes sense that they didn't recognize you. I remember something that you had mentioned when this was happening was that like you went to an agency or somebody that was like handled people like you who were going viral and that helped you, right?
Yeah. So I signed with a licensing company. So, you know, because basically, I mean, now I've learned and I watermark everything I post because, you know, like at this point, people are making fake profiles and trying to get money out of people. But like when it went viral, people just snatched it. And like one person stole it and put it on Twitter and it like went super crazy on Twitter. And this girl like got all these followers for it. Not that it's like, whatever, you do you, but like you jacked my video. And so this licensing company hit me up and they were like, hey, anyone who posts your video needs to pay you for that. So if you sign with us, then we have a team that goes after them and says, hey, you either have to take that down, you have to pay, you know, or whatever. And so I was like, all right, you guys handle it. I don't know.
Right. Did that work out for you?
I got money. I didn't get a lot of money from that, but I mean, like the Fat Jewish posted it and they went after him and like, he didn't fucking take it down. Like
he didn't take it down.
And he didn't pay or whatever. And he's like notorious for that, but he ended up posting it again almost a year later. And I just like posted in my stories and was like, everyone go like say it on it, like in the comments. And I sent him a message and then all of a sudden he wrote me back and he's like, oh yeah, for sure. I'll tag you. I didn't realize it was yours. And I was like,
because he did, because this was the whole thing like a year before where you had a conversation with him where you tried to like say like, hey, this is mine, right?
Yeah, I had people comment all over the first one and he didn't tag me at all. And that one alone on his page got 4 million views and I was like,
yeah. And was it his that made yours go viral? Like how do you know how the video went? Like
I do. It was actually because of a bunch of sex workers. So
of course.
It's fantastic. Well, I think you're in that group on Facebook. There's a group for sex workers.
I don't know. I'm added into a lot of groups. I don't pay attention.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
but
I don't pay attention on Facebook that much.
I had posted it like on Instagram and Facebook, and then I like shared it from my Facebook or I posted it in the group or whatever. And I was just like, haha, like whatever.
Okay.
And all these girls commented on, they were like, this is hilarious. We need to make this go viral. Can we share it? And I was like, well, it's shareable if you go to my page. And so they went to my page and they all started sharing it. And then, yeah, within a few hours, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. So I love that it was like specifically sex workers that were like, we're making this go viral.
Yeah. But of course, nobody knows that.
Yeah.
The stuff that we do behind the scenes that we never get credit for.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Everything. Like all the things.
Yeah. So, you know, when I asked you to be on this podcast, you said that, you know, it might be a little weird because you don't identify as a stripper. Yeah. Can you explain your stance on that?
Yeah. So basically, I can't even tell you how many times in the 7 years I've been dancing, I've had people come in either because they were just randoms who came into the club, or especially after I went viral, coming in to see me because they saw me on the internet. And then they're like, when do you take your clothes off? And I'm like, well, I don't. And they're like, but you're a stripper at a strip club. And I'm like, yes and no, because we do like all the same stuff except that, you know, and like I've had guys get like pissed and walk out. And so at this point, when people are like, you're a stripper, I'm like, well, but kind of not, like, just FYI, because if you're expecting to see me naked, it's not going to happen. So I certainly don't. I mean, I just got a sex worker tattoo. I'm like, hi, I'm a sex worker. And I'm definitely not trying to shy away from, you know, that whole thing. But
yeah,
it's like, I mean, I just did an interview too, where this guy was like, so you're a stripper? And I said, I was like, well, yes and no. And here's why. Because it is like essentially the same exact thing, but I don't do that one part. that is the word, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. I'm glad to hear that. It's almost like you feel you don't have the street cred to use the label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm a super proud sex worker, and I want to tell the fucking world, but
right.
I'm just like, you're not gonna see that though, like, just so you know. You know, like,
right. So just to create context for anybody who doesn't know, so where we danced at Jumbo's Clown Room, it's a bikini bar, and the law where we are at, we're not allowed to show our nipples, or we're not even allowed to wear thongs really on stage, but we try to get it.
We sure try to. How much ass is too much ass?
Yeah. And then we also, like, I was trying to wear like see-through bras as shit for like the last 5 years working there. Like, you know, when Karen wasn't around, I would be wearing see-through bras and shit so people could see my nipples. So I push the boundaries a lot, but you're not one to do that.
I've never done full nude anything. I've always done implied nude, and I at this point want to keep it that way, but who knows, because anything can change on a dime with me. Like, I'll like just randomly be like, well, I decided I'm going to do this now, and then like full force jump into it. So you know, who knows? But yeah, at this point, I just like it. It's like people, I mean, I'm known across the whole world as the pizza stripper, so I'm not like, hey, no, I'm not, you know, but it's just like, yeah, but just so you know, if you come in, that's not weird.
Yeah, and also at Jumbo's, we didn't hustle dances, which is another distinction at a lot of strip clubs, where you walk in and there's, you know, there's just hot sales chicks walking around all night.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, and I worked at Cheetahs and I worked at Crazy Girls, and so like even like at Crazy Girls was like the most strip club like, because it's like you had the $20 dance like out on the floor, or you had the VIP rooms where it, you know, went up to like an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've done it all minus actual taking my clothes off, but yeah, it's just, I just have some, like, you know, I'm to my friends and to myself and the people around me, I'm like, yeah, stripper. But when other people are like, oh, you're a stripper, I'm like, well, yes and no. This is why.
Yeah.
So
I would say, like, my personal opinion is that at Jumbo's we are strippers because we're dancing very erotically. We do take things off. We do take some things off, and we do give lap dances.
I do. I always take this crop top off. I know that.
Yeah, so you are stripping something off in an erotic type manner. And and it's interesting because it's like, what is the definition of a stripper? That's like what I'm kind of is like rolling around in my noggin right now.
Yeah.
And like, is there another place like Jumbo's where that type of bikini, erotic, exotic dance does fall under the umbrella of stripping?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what other people think. I'd love to hear what other strippers think about this.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm like almost in this weird gray area, but not, because I know most of the girls at Jumbo's have worked at full strip clubs.
Yeah, like me. So when I came to Jumbo's Clown Room from the nude clubs and I would hear the dancers calling themselves strippers in the dressing room, I would like laugh to myself inside, because I'm like,
you're like, no,
you don't
I'm
know
a stripper.
what stripping is. Yeah, because where I came from, it was highly competitive, extremely nude, you know?
Yeah.
Like, forget about wondering if your tampon string came out of your thong. You had to have zero tampon string.
Cut that shit, yeah.
Cut it or tuck it or whatever. And then like hard lap dance hustle. I mean, I was selling like on average 40 lap dances a night. At $40 a pop.
Yeah.
You know, so so when I got to Jumbo's and it's like, oh, you just roll around on stage for 5 minutes every 45 minutes and drink in between. That I was like laughing, like, this isn't real stripping. And then the more I got into it, the more I was like, yeah, it is. It's just different.
Yeah.
So, but, and so it was also interesting that you had said that, because I'm like, but she's like hella naked on her Instagram account.
Yeah.
And she doesn't think she's a stripper. So then I'm like, okay, but she's not acting as a stripper when she's nude on the Instagram account. She's a nude model. But
yeah, there's so many like
right, but
levels.
At the end of the day, it's like all the
same. At the end of the day, yeah, we're all selling a fucking sexual fantasy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So
how fun is that we get to do that for our
Dude,
jobs?
I couldn't even explain to people how much I love my job. Like I love that I don't love that there's so much judgment, but at the same time I'm just like, it's fascinating to me that people are so like, I don't know, they're like angry about it.
I know. Why?
Like, why are you so mad? Like, you have your job. I'm sorry if you hate your job. Get a new job. Like, I hated my job, so I became a dancer, and I fucking love it. And now I can't even imagine doing anything else.
Right.
I mean, at this point with the pandemic, I've kind of realized through OnlyFans and like my Etsy and all that like I can make a living and I don't have to go back to jumbos, but I can't fucking wait to go back to jumbos.
Right. Well,
I love it.
Dance for people.
Yeah.
Is the most incredible.
It's so fun.
It's
and
so
like
fun.
The confidence and just like everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you also, you know, before we started recording, you know, one of our producers, Mackenzie, I was telling her that I'm wearing this outfit right now.
Yeah.
This is an outfit sent to me by my friend Shelby Iona, and she owns this little company called Secret Shapes, and she sent me this little pajama outfit.
It's so cute.
And it's all satiny and silk, and it's actually probably going to be my new favorite thing to wear around the house when it's 90 degrees outside. But I was like, yeah, like she was like, oh, did she send that for you to talk about on the show, or did she just send it? And I was like, I don't know. I think maybe she just sent it because people just send me stuff. I just get gifts sometimes. And she just like laughs and she goes, oh, that's like, I love your life. Like, that's amazing. I'm like, you don't understand that stripper life.
That's literally what being a stripper is.
We just get presents all the time.
Like, and it's so funny because it's like, I mean, I understand it from the outside looking in, because before I ever was in the sex work community at all, if some girl was just getting gifts from a guy, I'd be like, well, what are you doing for that? And then like, as a sex worker in general, a guy will just be like, I want to take you shopping, or can I send you something to your P.O. box? And you're like, yeah. And people are like, well, what did you do for that? I'm like, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I wonder why
I existed. Yeah. Some guys just like to do that. They get off on it, and that's cool. Like, whatever you're into. But like,
yeah. But not even just guys, like what I've noticed for me as time has gone on, I just like have like random, all kinds of people send me stuff. And I wonder if it's because I spend a lot of time advocating for so many other people, because as even now, not as a stripper, I'm still getting like gifts. And maybe that's because I believe I deserve gifts. So I'm manifesting gifts constantly.
Put it out into the universe. It'll come to you.
The thing is, I'm not actively thinking that.
Yeah.
It's just an inherent, it's like a deep,
but you're open to it.
Belief.
It's
yes.
There. You're like, I deserve these things. And so they come to you.
And do you suppose that we believe that we deserve these things because we've just been so accustomed to people just giving us money, giving us drinks, giving us bags of drugs, giving us gifts, like for years and years, and it's just like, oh, it's just like a normal way of being.
This is what happens. Yeah, this is what needs to just happen, because that's I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you just get used to it, and you're like, but that's the jam. That's my life.
Yeah, and it just continues on, I feel like.
Yeah.
So what's the best gift that you've ever gotten from a customer?
I think it was when I went latex shopping.
Like
I got a dress and
I remember
this little, a little high-waisted shorts set, and I got this like $200 hat that had like spikes on it, and it was just like, I don't know, it was cute, so I just wanted it.
I'm pretty sure I was hella jealous over that latex thing.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. And I so badly wanted this bodysuit, and that customer was like, we'll come back and get it. And then got mad that I didn't want to date him, and so he stopped talking to me, and I was like, no. One day though.
That's an interesting line, isn't it? Like where they're giving you stuff / you have to almost pretend like you're gonna date them, but you don't want it to go too far.
Yeah, that's there's such a line. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, obviously it's different for every girl because I've seen girls that are just like all over a dude, and then girls who are like, no, I'm not gonna date you, but you know, more of like the dom aspect of it or whatever. But I mean, with this particular guy, I told him right from the start, I was like, I'm not trying to date. And like, I don't know any man to ever fucking take that as a answer and be like, okay, and like respect that. So of course, like he kept like taking me out shopping and all this stuff, and then
like hoping you would change your mind.
Yeah, and like we would just like hang out, and it was cool. And so it was like basically I knew that we had to like hang out and go do lunch or something
to get what you wanted,
to get all these things. Yeah. And he would always offer them. Do you want to go shopping? Do you want this? Do you want that? Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're offering. Sure. Fucking awesome. That's so nice of you.
Right.
And then he like exploded on me out of nowhere because he was like, what should we do today when we hang out? And I was like, why don't we go to Lucky Strike? Because they bowling, food, you know, booze, like a whole thing. And he like flipped out on me. I was like, you're just trying to like not actually hang out with me. And I was like, what part of going to Lucky Strike is not hanging out with you? I really like bowling. I don't know why you think it's a bad idea. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And he just lost it and then like didn't talk to me. And
because he wanted intimate time with you.
Yeah. He's like, but why can't we go make out somewhere? I'm like, because I don't want to.
Yeah, all good things must come to an end, my friend.
That always happens with regulars. You can't get used to a regular ever because they're going to like you until they're over you and then they're going to look somebody else.
Until they realize that you're never, ever going to actually be their girlfriend. It's kind of like being the mistress where it's like he keeps saying, I'm going to leave my wife. I'm going to leave my wife. And he never does.
Yeah.
And we're the same. We're just the opposite side of the coin. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I love you, baby. I love you, baby. And then, but we don't. But
but I'm not going to date you.
The thing is we're selling the experience. It's the girlfriend experience.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And it's so nice when you find a guy who actually understands that.
Yeah.
But more times than not, they don't.
They don't.
Guys, how many times have you heard a guy being like, "No, I could tell you like me," and you're like,
"Yeah,
you just handed me a 20." So I'm
fun.
doing my job. Like, that's why you're here. Or you would go to a normal bar and pick up a normal chick. But you're here. You're paying for me to talk to you. And you're convinced I like you. I'm a great actress.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost making me think, like, how do so many people not get this very basic shit that we repeat to each other and to the public over and over and over again? So it's like
men.
What? I don't know if it's just men. It's like maybe we have to educate. Like we have to like make like educational videos or something.
Almost like have a podcast about it, and then maybe people will like listen to it.
Or maybe we can get some kind of feature on Sesame Street. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yes. Today's letter is S for sex worker, and we're going to talk about sex workers. Kermit, take it.
Well, Kermit is not on Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's the Muppets.
Okay, well.
It would be, I would want
Look, I'm drinking today.
I want Oscar the Grouch to represent us on Sesame Street. I think.
Oh, that would be great. Oh my God.
It would be so perfect, wouldn't
it? It would be so perfect.
Yeah, because he's stigmatized too.
Yeah.
So he like gets it.
I was like, what's his deal?
Well, he's trash. He lives in a trash can.
And everyone thinks we're trash.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's perfect.
Oh my God. So, well, yeah, but you get sent all kinds of stuff now from, like Dolls Kill, like you're some like famous internet model now.
No.
Tell us your experience. Like what, because there's a lot of other women out there that want to be like you. They want to have a lot of followers and be the influencer on Instagram. And so I want to hear, like, what are the pros and cons of that for you?
I mean, this is like, I mean, obviously there are pros. You have companies reaching out to you just based on followings. Like, I've noticed that, like, after I had a following and I had a blue check mark, all of a sudden other people with followings and a blue check mark all of a sudden notice me. You know, it's like all of a sudden you're in this club where you're just like accepted, and then like other famous people will just follow you when they would have never looked at you before. And then brands are like, oh, do you want to work with us, or, you know, whatever. I mean, I can tell you, if I didn't have a following, my OnlyFans I wouldn't probably make jack shit.
Right.
You know, and like monetizing and selling my own merch. Like, it's just, the more of a following you have, the more you can monetize that in some way to like make money off of it.
Right. Well, yeah.
And it's super cool to have people that are legitimately just like, I'm your fan. And I'm like, why? For what? Like, for what? And they're like, you ate pizza one time. I'm like, yeah, you probably did too. I'm not special for that at all. They're like, you're my number one inspiration. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's super cool, but it's wild to me. I don't get it. But then on the other aspect, it's like, especially being a sex worker in the public eye, it's like constant harassment, constant shit talking from both sexes, but obviously mostly men. You know, I posted a video of me like golfing yesterday, and like no one was around, so I dropped my pants and I golfed in my underwear. And, you know, of course there's a handful of people that are like, oh, you're just trying to get attention. And I'm like, and so are you with this comment. So like,
so
we're even. Yeah, I'm like, anyone on social media is trying to get attention.
Yeah, you dumb idiot.
That's why we're all here. Why do you post anything you post? For other people to see it. Like,
right.
Get out of here. So yeah, and there's definitely pros and cons. It's like, I had somebody the other day that was like, you should film yourself like killing yourself so that we can all watch, or like you should go live and kill yourself so we can all watch. Yeah, and I was like, oof. You mad? And so I screenshot it and I posted it. And then this is another pro about having like a bigger following. All these people like went to hunt this person down when I posted it. And they like went to this person's girlfriend and were like, this is what your boyfriend is saying to people. And then she wrote me and she was like, can you please take this down? You're ruining his life. And I ignored her because she was like, can you just block him and move on? And I wanted to write her back, but I also was just like, this isn't going to go anywhere. Like, this is going to be a dead end. So I'm just not going to say anything because no, I'm not going to take it down. And I'll tell you why. I swear to God, there's a garbage truck every single day on my street. I thought it was one day a week, but it's every single day. It's wild. But no, it's just like, if I just block him and move on, then how many other people is he going to do that to? Right. If I blast him to thousands of people, and all of a sudden he's getting a bunch of people harassing him, now you know how it feels. Maybe you won't do it again.
Right.
So
yeah, because like, what's the alternative? How do people get to people? Because like, when I see trolls, like, I know that they're hurting, and that's the only reason why. I know it has nothing to do with me, and I want to find ways to reach out and teach, but it's like, it feels like a lost cause, because like, no matter what you say back, it's just so incredibly continuously negative.
Yeah.
And there's really no having a conversation. So it's like, what?
And they don't like to be wrong either. So if you call them out and you're like the XYZ and you're logical about it, then they're just like, they don't know what to do with it. And they're like, well, you're a dumb whore. And you're like, oh, okay. Great response.
That's not offensive though. Like, that doesn't.
You're like, I'm a smart whore, and
the dumb part, even that doesn't offend me, because it's just a silly word, you know.
Yeah.
To me.
I'm like, I'll go cry with all my money.
Yeah. I think it's fun if someone called me a dumb whore. Honestly, I would probably laugh so hard. I'm laughing right now just thinking about it.
I'm always like, what's wrong with being a whore? Are you mad?
There's nothing wrong. There's plenty of I think 50% of the planet is men, and I believe that they're like about maybe 80% of them are whores. So
everyone's a whore in one way or another.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone's selling their body to a degree.
Exactly.
So you're selling your time, your energy,
we're all whoring ourselves in some way or another. So technically we're all whores.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sorry to burst your bubble. You might as well be calling me a homo sapien.
Oh my God, you're like a human. Wow.
Yeah, like totally.
Wild.
But so you're like an ambassador for Dawskill, and it's like so tight. You get like the coolest shit, like the coolest shoes and fucking clothes.
I actually just harassed them into working with me.
Nice.
Because I already shopped there almost exclusively. I'm just obsessed with. They have so many different things, and so I went to their first sample sale that they had at the LA store, and I accidentally ended up meeting the art director, and I was like, "How do I model for you?" And he was like, "Oh, well, like let's exchange Instagrams," and then I just kind of bugged him a couple times. I was like, "Hey, remember when we met?
Remember when we brushed up against each other?
And we were supposed to work together." And so finally he was like, "Yeah." And then the first time, actually, because I kind of just expected the first time to work for them would be like a photo shoot. But the first time I worked for them, they hired me to come dance at their pride party, and I was like, okay. And then they hired me again, and that was without a pole. But then the next time I danced for them was for like a launch party, and I was like, "Hey, should I bring it?" And they were like, "Yeah, fuck it, bring it." And they like set me up my own little area.
Nice.
Super cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And so they were like your favorite brand, right? And you just like, you just made that happen. Yeah.
Give me stuff.
Yeah, you just made that happen. That's great.
Yeah.
What are your long-term goals? Like, what do you envision for yourself? Like,
oh my God,
what are you up
to?
Okay.
I don't know. I've always just been a person that's just like, I do what I want as I want to do it. And I don't look too far in the future. Like, I've never been that person that's like, I have a 5-year plan. Like, I mean, at this point, I have a goal of continuously trying to like grow my brand and like my social media and trying to just work from there, because as that grows, that will only bring me more opportunities. As weird as our society is, that's a thing. So loud. So that's, I'm just trying to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this pandemic, which sounds, well, you probably get it, because I feel like for sex workers, this pandemic was like, not too bad, because everyone all of a sudden is on the internet and needs entertainment. And so, like, I know my OnlyFans blew up more than it was, and like my Facebook blew up immensely, and I don't know exactly why, because I'm not super active on my Facebook, but I went from 12,000 followers to 360,000 followers in like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay, I will work with this, Right. So
that's on Facebook?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So, I think I think that for some people there was a lot of opportunity, and I think for a lot of others there was zero, because it's a very privileged place to be an out sex worker online.
Yeah.
And not everybody can be, especially with, and you're probably familiar with this too, with the shadow banning that happens. Like, white women are less likely to get shadow banned, although we do.
Yeah.
Believe me, we do. But we're a lot less likely to be shadow banned than women of color and anybody that's not skinny.
Not shocking.
Yeah.
Because our society is so great.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, while it is working out for some, it's not working out for others, which is why it's been, have you done any of these shows? Have you danced on any of the online shows where they like give portions of the money to like for mutual aid and stuff like that?
I did one of them, but it was, I think it might have been before they started doing that.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Cyber clown.
Well, I did the one with you.
Oh yeah, a while back, like in May or something.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but like they make me feel so awkward.
Okay.
I drank heavily for that show. Like, I was so uncomfortable, and before we even did it, like, it wasn't like uncomfortable doing it because I ended up having fun, but like the anticipation of doing it for whatever reason, if there's like a crowd watching me and I see them, I'm like, yeah, cool. But for some reason, the idea of, I don't know what it is, it gave me so much anxiety. And so, yeah, I drank heavily for that show. Yeah. And then Gabrielle actually was just like, asked me a couple times since, like, do you want to do it? And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I probably will. I just, it gives me anxiety. And I'm like, I'm not ready right now. And she's like, it's cool, dude, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, why am I so weird about it? I don't know.
I think it's okay to be weird about it. Everyone's different, you know.
But for someone who's like, I love attention, I would love to be on stage, and then I'm like, don't look at me. Like, I don't
Dancing
know.
on camera is different, though. And not only that, so something that I found really interesting in this transitional period for strippers is that, like, it requires, I think I know what it is, man. Lily, a lot of times when you're on stage, you're zoned out, you're in your world. But when you're on the camera, like, you have to, like, literally pay attention to the camera. Like, you got to look into it. You got to be present to the camera. And that's the huge difference between stripping on stage and then stripping at home, because in real life, the energy helps keep the glue together between you and the audience. The energy in the room and the sound, but in front of
and when you're dancing solo in front of your computer in your house, and it's just like,
it's different.
Yeah.
You have to really like be creative.
And you don't get to dip out into the dressing room and like get your bearings for like 20 minutes or however long you want to. You're just you just walk back up to the computer and you're like, hello.
Yeah, well,
did you enjoy that? I hope so.
Yeah, you do chat for a minute afterwards, but then like I turn my camera off so I can like change and get a drink and go to the bathroom. So, but yeah, you do right after your performance. You are like you said, hello. What did you say?
So that was me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I could totally see how that wouldn't be your style. Just from like working with you in the past. And I don't think it's everyone's style, and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, but
because I'm the person who gets weird at like the group dances too. The group dances like weird me out. I don't like them. I do them because I have to.
But. You're talking about like the group lap dances that we would do on stage.
Yeah.
Girl, I couldn't do those at the end. I was getting so
pissed at nobody
doing them right. I would like yell at everybody. I'm like, you don't do it right. You're not doing it right. I'm not doing it anymore.
when at Crazy Girls, we didn't really like do them, and then at Cheetahs they would do them, and I would dip out to the bathroom. I was like, no fuck, oh, I gotta pee, and I would go hide every time. And then when I started working at Jumbo's, they were like, you get paid to, and I was like, oh,
I want that $20.
So they're coming up to you like, do you want to do it? It's 20, and I'm like looking at how much money I made, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, take an extra 20.
Yeah, see, it's the dancers like you that hate doing the stage dance that drive the dancers like me nuts, who just want to control how the stage dance is going.
I just like kind of hide in the back, and then I like dance on their backside, but I don't like sitting on their lap. I'll give lap dances all day, not on stage, but I don't need everyone staring at me do it. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although the last couple of times they did it, I did like get on that person's lap, and I was like, look at me being wild.
See, yeah, I wanted to give, so I'm just going to give a shout out to a strip club in Wisconsin called On the Border. Okay. And I would watch these dancers do these like bachelor and birthday lap dances on the stage, and they wouldn't do the whole crew like we would. They would do like 3 to 4 of them. Okay. And I would go there to live stream shows, and like I was friends with the manager. Like he was really into blending pole dance fitness and strippers together, and so we spent time. I went there several times, and I've watched this so many times, and the dancers bring the guy up on stage onto the chair, and then they're like dancing around him, and then one of the dancers gets in the chair and makes the customer get down on his hands and knees on the floor in front of him, and then they reach under his pants and pull out his underwear waistband, and they pull it up nice and high and stick the stiletto part of their heel through the material of the fabric between the waistband and the material, and then they'd rip the whole waistband up off
oh my God
on stage while their pants were still on.
That is amazing.
And I watched it so many times that I did that like 2 or 3 times on the stage at Jumbo's. I totally took what I saw from on the border from these dancers and did it at Jumbo's. And one time Michelle, the bartender, who's technically the supervisor, was like, don't ever, she said, don't ever do that again. And I was like, oh man, because
like, why not? People love it though.
Everyone loved it. They loved it. And
that's what I understand is like when it's like, I don't know, something so simple that's not like really hurting anybody, but like sometimes they'll just be like, don't do that. And you're like, but everyone loves it. Like, don't we want to like
because the one customer with like hella expensive underwear or something might complain, you know? I don't know.
True.
Do we just
like
sacrifice?
We can't grab their phones out of their hands anymore and throw them at them because one person's gonna complain.
Yeah, like too bad we can't like, you know, smash up their cars with crowbars either when they're like totally annoying us.
We can't even like assault people anymore. It's like, geez.
Yeah, but anyways, I get it. It's not for everybody. You know, but I'm very glad that things have worked out for you, quarantine sex work wise. Very happy to hear that.
Trying my best.
Yeah, and you look good doing it. So.
Oh my God, thanks.
Yeah.
Want to be fabulous just like these strippers? Pay attention. It's stripper tips.
I feel like my stripper tip is going to be like different from what almost everyone would say.
Perfect.
Because I've had a lot of dancers give me this advice, and I'm like, no.
Okay.
I've had so many customers that are like, oh, will you dance to this song? Will you do this? Like, can you do that? And I'm like, no, I don't like it. So I'm not going to. And I've had so many dancers be like, no, you want to play what the crowd's going to like, or like what that guy's going to like, what that. And I'm like, no, because that's not me. And I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I also feel like that's gotten me where I am, is like being me. And no, I'm not going to do that just because you like it. Find a girl that'll do that for you, because that's the whole idea of strippers, is you come in and you can talk to whoever you want to.
Yeah.
So if you want a girl like that, you can find a girl like that, but I'm not your girl then.
Yeah.
So I would say just do you, and don't try to like do what everyone else is doing to make money, because what one girl will do making money like won't work for you. So like you do your thing and find your thing that will make you your money.
Nice. Good.
Might be wrong. I don't know, you know?
That's great. There is no right or wrong.
Get ready for our rapid fire question round. It's time for 4 for 1.
Question number 1. What food or food combo do you eat that people think is weird?
Mustard on pizza.
That's not weird. We used to do that on the East Coast in New Jersey in high school. Yeah.
Oh my God. People, every time I post about it, because I eat mustard with everything, but every time I post about it, people are like, oh, is that mustard with your pizza? Because like yellow mustard, like.
Yeah. Delicious.
And people are like weirded out. And I'm like, if you think about it, it's just like bread, meat, cheese, tomato. That's sandwich ingredients. So why wouldn't it be good?
Yeah. All right. If you could live in any fictional world from books, TV, or movies, what world would you live in?
Labyrinth.
Oh, wow.
But of course, because
that was a good answer. Have you ever fooled around in your parents' bed?
No.
Yeah, that sounds.
And my dad will end up listening to this podcast, but like for real, no.
that made me uncomfortable. What's your go-to brunch drink?
Mimosas.
Mimosas with no juice in it.
With like no juice. Like a drop. Just to give it like a tinge of flavor, but like.
I'd like a juiceless mimosa, please.
You just bring me 17 bottles of champagne. Thank you. That would be great. I'll drink them from the bottle.
Can you give me 17 bottles of mimosa without the juice? That's you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This has been an absolute pleasure.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
I was hoping one day I could be on your podcast.
Oh, stop.
Because I like creepily watch them. Not creepily. I guess they're like public. It's not like I'm stalking you, but like, but I am. But I'm looking at my TV as if you can see it. I'll be like on my phone and then I'll project it to my TV. Like,
really?
I'll just sit, they'll just keep playing, you know, automatically. And so I'll just sit and be on my phone and just like half watch, half listen to them all day.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah. I just watched the one with you and Jack the Stripper and I was like,
isn't she amazing?
Yeah. God, I love her.
Cool. I love her too. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell everyone how to find all the things to follow.
Pretty much everywhere is like Lilly Blue Moon, 2 L's, because nobody gets that right. Nobody.
I know.
But yeah, Lilly Blue Moon, Instagram. Well, I guess on Facebook, just Lilly Moon, and then OnlyFans is Lilly Blue Moon.
Lilly Blue Moon. Cool. Easy peasy. Well,
I want to come see your new house, and I want to.
Oh my gosh, we want to have a Babe Town house party. And I will definitely, our first party will be babes only. So we'll definitely let you know. And when I say babes, I mean femme babes only. No men.
No men.
Yeah, but trans and femme men, yes. But like straight men, I should be clear. Straight men, no.
Yeah.
Just for the first party.
Yeah. We just need 1 minute where it's not. Just one. Yes, but you are high on the invite list, my friend. Yay!
Yes. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us, and thank you so much to our audience for tuning in. Please rate, review, subscribe, and do all those fancy things, and click and share and tell your friends. Okay? Okay, bye, guys. Have a good day. Bye. Okay.
Cool.
We're now accepting 4-for-1 submissions from our listeners. You can send them in via Instagram at YAS a Stripper Podcast or on Twitter at YAS a Stripper Pod. Make sure to follow all the things and email any questions or concerns to YAS a Stripper Podcast at gmail.com. Tune in every Wednesday. See you soon.